little stint in Seattle, the Twins are taking their talents to Southern California, where they'll look to continue their winning ways in a 3-game series with the Angels. The Twins won the series against LA at home last week. Tonight, though, it shifts to the road where they're playing some great baseball. The Twins have won 6 of their last 7 away from home, averaging nearly 5 extra base hits and nearly 9 runs per game in that stretch. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Angel Stadium. I'm Audra Martin. If you like offense, you probably loved that last series against Seattle where the Twins outscored the Mariners 40-18. But now as they open up a series against the Angels, things may not end up so one-sided. And here's why in our series setup. All 3 of those meetings last week were decided by just 1 run. And that's no surprise because 9 of the last 10 between these two have been decided by a pair of runs or less. But neither team has been shut out in that stretch. Jorge Polanco had another strong series in Seattle, going 8 for 18, and because of it, he's back atop the AL leaderboard with 60 hits and a .343 average, and is second with 106 total bases. After battling a bit of a slump earlier this month, Angel slugger Mike Trout is getting back to form with 2 doubles, 2 home runs, and a very impressive OPS over 1.3 in his last 7 games. Tonight, it will be up to Jake Odorizzi to keep his bat quiet, and he might have a good chance of doing so because just a week ago, he kept him to just a single. Dick and LaTroy, Jake Odorizzi certainly knows what to expect as he takes to the mound yet again against the Angels.
Yeah, all 3 games in Minnesota last week were decided by 1 run. We expect similar games here in Anaheim. And the reason the Twins have one of the best records in baseball, the reason they're in first place in their division, their starting pitchers are doing a great job giving them a chance to win every night. Nobody's done a better job of that than Jake Odorizzi.
Well, Jake's done a great job so far this year, especially since April the 17th, his last 6 starts. He's using everything that he needs to do to be successful. That high fastball complementing that split finger that's diving towards the dirt with great depth to it. He's using it to his advantage, and there's no reason for him to change anything if the hitters aren't making an adjustment. He's just what the doctor ordered coming off a loss in Seattle.
So this should be an interesting 3-game series. No shortage of marquee names in this series. You got Jorge Polanco. He's leading the league in hitting. You got one of the top power hitters in the game, Eddie Rosario. The Twins and Angels in the first of 3 coming up. Twins continue to be the baseball. A revamped roster with the right mix of players has the Twins getting it done in every aspect of the game. They're having fun playing as one. The Angels have just taken the field. They're taking on a Twins team that right now leads the Cleveland Indians by 5 games. Cleveland lost this afternoon to Oakland this afternoon Pacific time. They just finished their ball game a little while ago. And Rocco Baldelli has his team in good shape, and they're playing particularly well against they're playing particularly well against everybody, but they won the season series against Houston. They took 2 out of 3 from the Angels. They took 3 out of 4 from the Mariners, and here's the Menards batting order for the opener here in Anaheim. Max Kepler back in the lineup, leading things off. Then Jorge Polanco, he's the designated hitter tonight. Williams Astudillo, Eddie Rosario, Miguel Sano, Luis Arias, then Jason Castro, Ere Adrianza, and then Byron Buxton.
Tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. It's Taylor Cole. Look at his 4th start of the season, 7 1/3 innings pitched, and he is the starter for this game, the opener, as we like to call it.
And the Angels in the field. Line up this way. Brought to you by Northland Ford. Mike Trout, the fixture in center field. Brian Goodwin in left. Justin Upton isn't quite ready to play at this level after recovering from an injury. Cole Calhoun in right. An infield of Fletcher, Simmons, LaStella, and Walsh. LaCroy behind the plate. No Albert Pujols in the lineup for the Angels tonight, as he will start this game on the bench. But Mike Trout has his batting average over 300 now, and is every bit the best player in the game that he's been advertised as.
On the planet.
Yep.
Richard, on the planet.
And so the Twins, who won the series with the Angels 2-1 with all 3 games, as we said, 1-run decisions. And Cole will be the opener. He's pitched a number of games where he has pitched more than 1 inning, so this might be one of those opening assignments that would see him pitch through the lineup 1 time, and then the change would be made to Pena, but we'll see. Brad Ausmus had 2 winning years in Detroit, 2 losing years in Detroit. Finished his playing career across the way with the Dodgers in his first year managing the Angels.
Former teammate, Richard, Brad Ausmus, 2010 Houston Astros. Very intelligent guy, good catcher, took control of all our, pitchers meetings, and he did all the homework on the hitters, wrote out everything, did all the work that you needed to do. What pitches work well, what pitches from each pitcher work well against different hitters. Very, very in tune with what was going on at bat to at bat.
Kepler serves the first pitch into left field, a base hit. Kepler didn't play yesterday, and as we've seen him do so often, hunts that first pitch, and he spanks a single to left to get the game started.
Wasting no time. Dumping the first pitch, looked like a sinker over the middle of the plate down, dunked it into left field.
Polanco off another 4-hit game. He is a hitting machine, leading the American League in hitting at .343, starting the day with an 8-point lead over Tim Anderson of the White Sox. And he takes strike 1, a fastball on the outside edge. There are the leaders. Some surprising names, not so much Brantley. Andrus maybe, Reddick maybe, certainly Anderson. And the guy who's average-wise the best hitter in the American League right now is in the box. 1 strike.
He's done a great job this year, swinging at pitches he can handle.
That kicked away from the catcher LaTroy and hit Polanco in the box, and that kept Kepler at first base. If that ball hadn't hit the batter, Kepler might have had another base.
A change-up, split or something, breaking straight down. You're right, had it not hit Polanco, it probably would have bounced more towards the Twins' dugout.
A deep drive, but it's very foul. Out in front of that off-speed pitch. And Polanco hitting .429 over the last 2 weeks with damage, with power. 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in.
You say in fuego? He's on fire.
Trying to break out here in the first inning after Kepler's leadoff single. And fouled away. Angels trying to get to the 500 mark. They had a chance yesterday, but lost their series finale to the Royals. Polanco had a good series against the Angels at Target Field last week.
A lot of close ball games last week between these 2 teams.
That's typically been the case. 1-2 to the Twins' designated hitter. Sharply hit, backhanded by Simmons, out there and safe there. Another well hit ball, and Simmons made a nice play, but Listella was pulled over in the hole, and so he wasn't quite at the bag ready to receive Simmons' throw until it was too late.
Well, that ball was hit extremely hard. It's extremely hard, and Simmons, he got to Simmons so fast he had to give Stella time to get to the bag. Polanco runs too well to get turned doubled up right there.
That'll bring up Astudillo in the 3-hole tonight. You never expect Astudillo to strike out, but we really don't expect to see it here because Cole actually did strike him out in Minnesota last week. Just Astudillo's 2nd strikeout.
That probably won't happen again against the same pitcher.
Wouldn't think so. There's strike 1. maybe the only Angel pitcher who could strike out Astudillo twice is Nolan Ryan, and he's been retired for 20 years. One strike to Astudillo, playing at first base. Just outside and low. 1-1.
You know, Rocco in his pregame conference with us, he was talking about Astudillo and how unique of a player he really is. He doesn't strike out, he doesn't walk, puts the bat on the ball at a high rate, and saying that they wouldn't want to change him from that.
Toward the hole and through with the runner going. Polanco will hold up at second base. So 2 singles and a well-hit smash for an out. The Twins are starting something here in the first inning.
Tonight's Pizza Ranch for the win. Offense, keep rolling. Continue to be patient but aggressive. And Odorizzi, stay on track. Continue to do what he's done since April the 17th, and has given his team quality innings, resulting in the quality starts.
Eddie Rosario to the plate. Rosario had a good series in Seattle with a bunch of singles, getting the average up to 260. Hasn't homered in close to 2 weeks, which is a long home run drought for him. Be a good spot to break the drought. Couple of runners out there with one down.
He hit a couple balls, well, he about 3 or 4 balls on the screws in Seattle.
On the outside edge. Twins are on a pace right now to score 923 runs. We all thought this lineup would be a lineup that could produce 800 runs, but they've gone significantly better than that.
If they keep up at this pace, that number will not be a problem at all.
Rosario waits and decides he's waited long enough.
What's the good thing about this team is they continue to score runs without Nelson Cruz, without Mitch Garver. They've continued to do it. Guys just stepped right in and picked up where those guys left off at. That's when you know you have a good team. Mm-hmm. You got guys that you can call up or bring off the bench, and you don't miss a beat.
0-2. With Cole reaching back for 95 miles per hour.
Cole showed us the 95. Showed us the 86, the cutter, a backdoor cutter, and he showed us a changeup, which is the changeup is what Polanco fouled way down the right field line.
We've watched Rosario and admired his hitting ability, and I suspect that whenever the next home run comes, they might come in bunches. He's that type of hitter. He's very much a streak hitter. Sharply hit. La Stella to Simmons and a double play. Everything hit on the button. Twins got a couple of hits, but don't score in the top of the first. Twins swung the bats to the top of the first, got a couple of hits. But Odorizzi will take the mound to take on the Angels in a scoreless game. The Angels hope, as we said, to get to the 500 mark, then get past that, and hopefully make a run at the Astros. Here's the Menards batting order. In the opening game of the series, Tommy La Stella has surprised everyone with his power. He's leading off. Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani, Andrelton Simmons, Cole Calhoun, Jonathan Lucroy, Brian Goodwin, Jared Walsh, and David Fletcher.
Tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. Jake Odorizzi making his 10th start of the season, one of the last 6 starts since April 17th. It's his second start of his career in Angel Stadium. The last was 5/7/2016 with the Tampa Rays.
He's won each of his last 6 starts, including the Houston Astros, beating them twice. Astros don't lose much. And Odorizzi beat them 2 times, once in Houston, once in Minnesota. Flip to left, retreating is Rosario, backpedaling, and there for the catch, 1 away. That'll bring up Mike Trout. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. We've really seen the athleticism in the outfield this year Nothing falls but raindrops with those guys out there. Buxton in center, Rosario, Kepler on the corner spots. Sano, Adrianza, Arias, Astudillo, the infielders. And Castro behind the plate. And Williams, Astudillo can catch, play third. We've seen him in the outfield. And tonight, giving C.J. Cron a break at first base. Here is Trout.
Partner, you said nothing falls but raindrops. I like that.
That was the slogan a year ago, and I think we've seen it even more in play this year. We've seen Kepler, I think, show greater range in right field. And a strike. And very quickly 0-2 to Mike Trout.
I think what we get so caught up in the athleticism of Byron Buxton, and we kind of overlook that Kepler is a really good athlete himself.
One and two. Odorizzi had problems with Trout in the past. Trout's 5 for 10 against him. Won't chase the high fastball. One thing the Twins have tried to get, and I think we can see it here, trying to get Byron Buxton to play deeper in the hopes that instead of crashing into the wall, he'll be able to get to the wall and then elevate. Still make some great catches. But the idea, of course, is to preserve the man's career, keep him on the field. He's so aggressive, and as we said with Ken Griffey Jr. when he was in the booth with us in Seattle, he's fearless. He'll run into the wall to make a catch, but if he starts deeper, maybe they can keep him on the field a little bit longer. 2-2 from Odorizzi to Trout. And Buxton might get a chance here. He's got to come in, and it's Kepler actually making the catch. 2 down. Saturday against the Royals, Trout hit one half a mile, or roughly, technically measured at 473 feet. StatCast AI powered by AWS. 2 down, and here's Shohei Ohtani.
You know, with Buxton running to that wall, playing deeper, he doesn't have that much time to pick up that much speed if he's closer to the wall. Well, if he's playing in and have to go over, run to the wall, he's going to be running full speed, and that's when that impact becomes detrimental to his health.
Ohtani with 1 strike. I did a pregame interview with the Angels radio network today, and they asked me how will we know if Odorizzi is on, and I said I think the best way to tell is if the outfielders come in to make the catches. If he's getting that weak contact on fly balls, that's maybe the best sign for him. We've seen him have so much success getting weak contact on pop-ups to the infield and short fly balls.
You're right, and you hit it on the nose. Staying away from the heart of the bat, the sweet spot. He's done a great job at that.
2-1 to Ohtani. Just outside now, 3-1. Felix Pena getting loose. He is the primary pitcher. The Angels hope that he will pitch most of the innings here today. And Odorizzi misses, and Ohtani takes a walk. A 2-out walk will get Simmons to the plate. When Odorizzi pitched against the Angels back on the 15th of this month, obviously at home, he came into the game not having given up a run of any kind in his 3 prior starts. Now, he gave up 3 runs, and they came on 2 home runs. LaStella got him. Jonathan LaTroy got one against him with a man aboard. But that was it, and significantly, I think, just the 3rd and 4th home runs allowed by Odorizzi this year in nearly 50 innings.
And that's what a success is.
Sano to his left. Over to Astudillo, and Simmons has gone on 1 pitch, and we head to the 2nd in a scoreless game.
We have some scoop from the club. Jason Castro likes Jake Odorizzi's chances today against the Angels, saying last week they relied primarily on that fastball more so than they tend to do. So he says we didn't show them all of the cards, especially when it comes to those secondary pitches. Today, Jake Odorizzi has a good chance of keeping them off balance and keeping them guessing. Taylor Rogers hasn't pitched in 5 games, and Rocco Baldelli says there's nothing to worry about, no injuries or anything like that. It's just how the games have played out. He said, yes, there are some guys you may feel like you have to force them into a game just to get them in there and get some action, but Taylor is not one of those guys. He said, believe me, if there is a high leverage situation, Taylor Rogers will be at the top of the list to get in there and see some action, guys.
And we expect we'll see Rogers maybe a couple of times in this series. Felix Pena coming in. This is the model that the Angels used at Target Field last week. In Minnesota, Cam Bedrosian was the opener, and then Pena took over, and he did okay. 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 of them scoring on a Mitch Garver home run, and then he threw some pitches in the 7th inning. So the strategy worked for the Angels back then. We'll see how he fares here against the Twins, starting with Miguel Sano in the 2nd. And Sano takes low, ball 1. Almost predictably, Sano's off to a slow start in terms of making contact. Missed an awful lot of time. It'll take him a while to catch up. Swung on and missed 1-1.
Felix Pena features a 4-seam sinker, which he throws his sinker he throws more often, 35% of the time against left-hand hitters, 48% of the time against right-hand hitters. Slider, 78 to 87. He throws that against right-hand hitters the most at 41%, and his changeup. Doesn't throw many changeups for right-hand hitters, 14%.
Now getting ahead of Sano 1 and 2.
A lot of sinkers to right-hand hitters. Sinker slider guy.
Half swing and he went. And for Sano now, 18 at bats, 9 strikeouts, 1 down. That'll bring up Arias.
Just 2 straight breaking ball. It just shows that Sano's not picking that ball up out his hand because it was a ball. Looked like a ball out his hand. Good movement on that pitch, but it looked like a ball out his hand.
Here is Arias. 2 hits and 4 at bats. Pena likes the breaking ball. Sharply hit. This guy he's a hitter. And Arias on the first pitch spanks a single to right. 3rd Twins hit in the early going. Talk with Arias today, and we'll see where this pitch was. Looks like it was on the inner half. And when he saw Rod Carew in the clubhouse today, Rod was here to spend some time with Tony Oliva and, of course, all the Twins in the clubhouse. And Rod said, I worked a lot with Arias in spring training. So I asked Arias, what did you work on with Mr. Carew and Mr. Oliva? He said the pitch inside. They really worked hard with him on handling the pitches inside. And sure enough, on the first pitch today, inner half of the plate, single to right field.
I had a chance to see him last year and this year. Last year he was coming off ACL injury that he got in 2017, but I've never seen him panic at the plate. Never seen him panic. There's no urgency. He is always cool, calm, and collective in his at-bats. And yesterday against Kikuchi, a tough lefty, did he look like he had any trouble facing any kind? No, he was up there. He was spitting on tough pitches, and he waited him out, and he swung at the pitches he wanted to swing at.
Check swing, and Castro went 0-2. He just turned 22 a little more than a month ago. His birthday is on April 9th.
The second day in Seattle, I walked over to the Nordstrom's, which is close to the hotel, and walked upstairs to the men's section, and who's in there shopping? Mr. Luis Arias. I told him. He's getting big league ready. That's what he was doing, getting big league ready.
Checked his swing successfully, I think. Yep. And it's 1-2 to Castro. With all the gaudy numbers that individual hitters are putting up this year, maybe lost in the shuffle is what Castro has done. 7 home runs. The average up to 246. This is from a guy who tried to play with a bad knee last year and then ended up having to get it taken care of. Missed most of the season.
Yeah, he was in that knee injury and decided to have surgery, and I think they went in and found out it was a lot worse than what it appeared to be.
Castro with 17 runs batted in and 61 at bats.
Felix Pena hails from San Pedro de Macorís, Dominican Republic.
Up behind third, chased by Fletcher. He's got a tough play here, and that ball is a fair ball, and Arias will go to third base. And Castro's hit the ball so hard here, getting a Texas League single. And a nice read by Arias, who advanced near second base and then saw that the ball dropped and advanced to third base. Good base running by the rookie.
Good at bat right there. He was able to fight that pitch off and drop it over the third baseman's head just in front of the right fielder.
This is how you're supposed to play it, I think, right? Get close to second.
He read it and saw nobody was at third base, and it was going to be a foot race for Simmons to get there, and took his chances and beat the throw.
And now Adrianza.
Hit 4 balls on the screws in the first inning. Nothing to show for but 2 singles, and then, a Texas leader right there.
4 singles for the Twins. They were held to just singles in the ball game yesterday in Seattle. First game in 14 that they hadn't hit a home run. Out at second, safe at first, and a run scored. Twins almost hit into their second straight inning-ending double play, but Adrianza beat the throw by a half step. Arias comes in from third, and it's 1-0. Credit Adrianza with a run batted in, his 8th of the year.
Adrianza legging it out. Smelled the RBI. He got there.
And now Buxton.
Against Felix Pena, you'll see a lot of ground balls. It's because he's a sinker, predominantly sinker thrower, sinker slider. You have to wait on him to get that pitch elevated. And
it's blocked by LaTroy, but it rolls in front of home plate, and Adrianza will advance. The ball hooked into the left-handed batter's box, and LaTroy blocked it, but it kicked out in front of home plate, and Adrianza had a good read.
There's a slider in the dirt. LaCroix tried to block it. He blocked it in front of him, but he got up and lost his balance towards the first base line, and great base running by Adrianza. Heads up base running.
Hit to the outfield might double the lead. Out in front, 1-1. And on 1-2. Seen a more polished 2-strike approach from Buxton this year. See what he can get done here on 1-2 in terms of putting the ball in play.
Pena throws a lot of sliders because he has a good one. It's not a slider that goes from right to left. He goes straight down.
And firing on the run. Fletcher makes a nice play. And the Twins get the game's first run. In 47 games have scored first. Arias scoring the run. Twins fans, play ball is MLB's initiative to inspire all forms of baseball and softball participation, making play opportunities available and fun for everyone. To find a youth organization near you, go to playball.org/playballnearyou. Cole Calhoun, Jonathan LaTroy, and Brian Goodwin to face Odorizzi. Gets the outside edge. Strike one.
MLB did a play ball event May 10th in my hometown of Gary, Indiana. It's part of the festivities.
You were there?
Yes.
Okay. How often do you get back to Gary, Indiana?
As much as need be. I still have a grandfather there. It's 93.
I know he was a big
Yep.
baseball fan.
Yep.
Tap foul 0-2.
Grandmother's 87. Mom's still there. Aunt, cousins. So
Calhoun missed some time in Minnesota on the paternity list. Back with the Angels now.
Yeah, Cole Calhoun was up in spring training with us in 2012, and my first outing of the spring, he made a diving catch in right field. The first couple of days of spring training, and my daughter Troy just fell in love with Cole Calhoun. She said, I've never seen anybody play that hard in spring training. He's my type of player. He's from Buckeye, Arizona.
And a lot of power packed into that frame. 9 home runs on the season. And he goes after a high fastball, and Odorizzi's had so much success up there. A lot of his strikeouts are on that high fastball.
Guys can't hold up on that fastball. You have to respect the split finger, and it's coming out of the same, it's tunneling out of the same area, same release point. You're just doing two different things. One's riding up, other one's breaking down with depth, and that ball's running away from you. You see the trace on television.
One down, and now Jonathan LaTroy. We said before, LaTroy hit a 2-run home run against Odorizzi in Minnesota. Fastball up and in, ball one.
In the first inning, Odorizzi had his variance pitch speeds on all 3 outs. One was 85 miles an hour, the other one was 92 miles an hour, and the last one was a curveball with 77 miles an hour.
Strike called. Odorizzi, a big part of a much improved starting rotation. Baseball ranks starting rotations in terms of earned run average. Not that that's the absolute stat, but the Twins are 3rd in the American League in starters ERA. Pop foul and out of play, behind only the Rays and the New York Yankees. And the Rays, of course, skewed a little bit because they use the opener more than anybody else, and so their starters, if they pitch a scoreless inning, that's it.
If you had to put it in percentages of
right.
what parts of your team what component of your team is more important, I think that starting pitching has to weigh heavy on a scale of 0 to 100.
1-2.
LaTroy and our teammates.
Roll to the right side. Arias scampers after it. Plenty of time. 2 down. That'll bring up Brian Goodwin. You were teammates in Milwaukee, I presume, right?
Milwaukee, yes. His rookie year, 2010, to the playoffs in 2011.
You ever figure out how many different catchers you pitched to? You were talking about Osmus. He was one of your catchers. LaTroy was one of your catchers. You pitched, 42 years in the big league? Something like that?
Half of that.
Half of that?
Half of that.
For a bunch of different teams.
Just might have to calculate that.
2 down. There's Brian Goodwin. Down and in, ball 1. And down low, 2-0. Odorizzi, as Audra suggested, is pitching to Jason Castro in back-to-back starts against the same team. I would think there'd be some benefit to that. Now, I know you started early in your career, but most of your career was spent pitching out of the bullpen. But when you're pitching against the same team in back-to-back starts, I would think it would be of great help to have the same catcher back there. Castro and Odorizzi both should have some recollection about how they pitched Goodwin in Minnesota last week. What worked, what didn't work.
Well, with all the information now, Richard, I mean, I don't think it plays a bigger role. Doesn't play as big a role as we may think, because both guys are preparing the same. They're getting the same information. Astudillo gets the same information Castro gets. He's watching the game. You know, you have the guys, the coaches on the benches. They're making sure all the same information is getting relayed to the pitcher and both catchers.
Here was his last start. 63.3% fastballs. 2-2. Check swing 3-2 with Jared Walsh on deck.
63% fastballs, decent cutters, and split fingers, an occasional curveball.
Got him on an off-speed pitch. Good inning for Odorizzi as the Angels go down 1-2-3. Talking with Jason about that a couple now between innings. Pretty good chance he's not going to bat this inning, and so he goes back to the notebook and looks, kind of reviews the scouting report and reviews it with the pitcher. Next three batters for the Angels are Walsh, Fletcher, and LaStella. And, you know, it used to be between innings, if you weren't going to hit, you might have a chance to decompress, but there's less of that now than there used to be.
There's so much information, and now that the catchers have to process so much. They have the wristbands that they look at, but a lot of times they might have a gut feeling and want to go with that.
Called strike to Kepler, and it's 1-2.
And then when you get on the bench, you just talk about, you know, like you said, what you expect, what you guys want to do. Make sure you're on the same page, and what you're talking about lines up with what the homework that Wes and Jeremy Hefner and all other scouts in the dugout have already done.
That's strike three, and Kepler will force a throw. And LaTroy guns it over there, one down. That'll bring up Polanco. Twins fans, select Fridays. You can enjoy the all-you-can-eat package, which includes a grandstand ticket and unlimited access to ballpark favorites. The all-you-can-eat package is presented by Fox Sports North, and for details, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. It sounds like something you'd be interested in. All you can eat.
Yes, I like to eat. Might be a little on the thin side, but
right, lean.
I can eat.
Here's Polanco. Taking ball one, hit a smash to the backhand side of Simmons, who turned it into a force play at second base.
When I was younger, I always eating standing up, and my grandma Leslie used to say, "Sit down. When you eat standing up, all your food goes to your feet." Because I had big feet.
I hadn't heard that one before.
I had big feet. I was 12, wearing a size 12.
2-0 to Polanco. You mentioned that Pena's from San Pedro de Macorís.
San Pedro.
And so is Jorge Polanco. Pena is a few years older than Polanco. 3-0 to Polanco with Astudillo on deck.
I love saying that, San Pedro de Macorís.
There's a strike. Used to be the shortstop capital of the world. Seemed like half the shortstops in the major leagues were from there, and now the Twins have a good one in Polanco. Facing Pena. A deep drive down the right field line near the pole. Foul. Marvin Hudson with the eagle eye, and Polanco, I think, knew it almost the time he touched it off that it was going to hook.
Running fastball in, or up over the middle of the plate. Polanco cleared those hips just a little too quick on the trigger.
We saw him in his first at bat. Hook one about 50 feet foul. Now a full count with one down here in the third. And Polanco will take a walk with one down. Twins have done a nice job tonight putting guys on base. 4 singles, first time through the order. Now a one-out walk in the third. Upper Midwest guy from Minot, Gary Cederstrom. He's the crew chief and the home plate umpire. Marvin Hudson, Adrian Johnson, Quinn Wolcott on the bases. Polanco aboard, and now Astudillo. Singled his first time up. On the first pitch, Polanco goes to second. Pena gets the comebacker, flips to first. I've seen Astudillo with so good of bat control that he's the perfect guy to put the hit and run on. He just didn't hit it hard enough to the right side.
Looked like he was trying to hit that ball to where the second baseman was vacating.
Within that number, 12-3 after a loss, you can explain why this Twins team has been so good. For one thing, they've won 12 times after a loss, but only 3 times have they lost back-to-back games, and they've never lost 3 in a row. We're getting pretty deep into the season here, LaTroy, and the Twins don't even have a 3-game losing streak.
It's 1906. Not bad at all.
Here's Rosario with Polanco at second and 2 down. That's a good block by LaTroy. That ball looked like it landed halfway between the grass and home plate. Pena's fired a couple of bad ones into the dirt, and LaTroy with a nice save there.
The slider that broke straight down, bounced in front of the plate. LaTroy did a nice job blocking, keeping that ball in front of him. Pena's sliders in the dirt, and with that sinker, there will be occasional fastballs that just find their way short hopping the catcher from time to time.
Popped up, backing out of play. We mentioned that Rosario hasn't homered in a while. He still has 13 on the year, tied for third in the league behind George Springer's 17. But he's picked up hits and continued to drive in runs. He's 5th in the league in runs batted in, even though he hasn't homered in nearly 2 weeks. And here it wouldn't take a home run to get Polanco in from second base. One and one.
Rosario, hard-nosed player with a little swag. I like it a lot.
On a pitch up and fouled it back.
He can square up a baseball.
Twins scored a run in the second inning on a fielder's choice. Now trying to take advantage of Pena's one-out walk.
There's Tonio.
Chop to the right side. Easy play for La Stella. And the inning ends. Polanco left at second base.
Jake Odorizzi going back to work. CJ Cron with the night off. Remember, last time Jake Odorizzi was on the mound, we witnessed this unusual yet now entertaining error by CJ Cron. As Rocco Baldelli put it, we can laugh about it now because we won the game. But poor CJ Cron, his team did not let him off the hook that easily, especially Jake Odorizzi, who spent the flight to Seattle throwing pieces of food at CJ to, quote, make sure he was seeing me okay. The two seem to have patched things up, but guys, I don't know. CJ's not in the lineup. I'm not sure Jake Odorizzi had something to do with that, but of course, he has such a great sense of humor. He said, you know what, I'm so self-deprecating anyways. I knew my team was going to take advantage of it. I'm pretty sure they're never going to let that one go, guys.
This is baseball. He will never, ever hear the end of that.
If that play had cost the Twins a run in the ball game, it'd be a little bit tougher to have fun with it. But it didn't cost the Twins a run, didn't cost them a ball game, and so everybody can have a little fun with it.
Yeah, it would have been a little tougher, probably about if had it cost him a run 2 to 3 days, but he still will never, ever live that down.
2-1 to Jared Walsh, getting a chance to play first base, in part because Albert Pujols is 0 for 10 in his matchups against Jake Odorizzi. Tap foul, 2-2.
Not many guys can say that they have.
Yeah.
Pujols is 0 for 10 against them.
I hope Jake pitches for another 10 years, and if Pujols never faces him again, he'll be able to tell his kids, his grandkids, anybody who's wandering down the street past him, you know what? I held Albert Pujols, maybe the greatest right-handed hitter of all time, to an 0 for 10. There's a called third strike, and Walsh heads back to the dugout. One down in the third. That'll bring up David Fletcher. Twins season ticket plans come in a variety of sizes and start at just $22 a month. Select the plan that best fits your needs, whether for a family, friends, or business. Log on to twinsbaseball.com/season tickets or call 800-33-TWINS to learn more. It's been a good road trip so far for the Twins, winning 3 out of 4. And a relatively short 5-game homestand coming up.
I'm so used to watching Odorizzi finish hitters off with the fastball up. And that last fastball to Walsh was right down the middle.
1-0 to David Fletcher. Homestand coming up. Twins have the White Sox in for 3. A night game Friday, day game Saturday, day game Sunday. And then a couple of night games against the Brewers, and it's back on the road for a week and a half.
I'll be in Minnesota next week, the 28th through the 6th, pre-draft and the draft. And my third year doing this. The first year the team won't be in town. It's going to be a little different.
So I know which room is the so-called war room or the conference room, so we shouldn't plan on spending any time in there. You guys will be busy, right?
Yes, we'll be busy.
Okay.
Putting in some long hours, drafting future Twins.
1-2 to Fletcher. Tapper to short. Adrianza fires on the run, and stretching at the other end is Astudillo, 2 down. First time through the batting order against Odorizzi. No hits and 1 walk. And now back to the top of the order, and Tommy La Stella. La Stella hit a fly ball to Rosario. Actually made Rosario go back a couple of steps. So far, we've seen Odorizzi get more outs on ground balls than fly balls, which is unusual for him. Anthony's a strike. It's not just the percentage of strikes, but it's the quality of those strikes. He doesn't seem to throw much at all down the middle, pitching to the frame of the strike zone, the box that we show you on TV.
Odorizzi's been very good since April 17th. Of course, his 6 starts. See that home runs, .74. OPS against .578. It's been outstanding.
What a stop, but the ball rolling away. And now Astudillo comes off the bag. A heck of a stop by Adrianza, but he couldn't keep it in his glove. And that'll be the first hit of the night for the Angels. Odorizzi's been able to keep that ball in the glove. You might have had a shot at La Stella. As it is, Trout will hit with a Trout coming to the plate with a man aboard. Trout hit a fly ball to right his first time up. Off the plate.
Stella's hitting over 600 against the Twins this year. It's his 10th hit in 17 at-bats. 2 home runs, 2 RBIs.
Check swing and a strike. Odorizzi picked off Brian Goodwin in his last start after Goodwin got a leadoff single. So the Angels know all about Odorizzi's quick move to first. Half swing and a check. It's 1-1.
A good hard fastball that hitters can't seem to lay off. He didn't get the swing right there, but Trout wanted to swing. Just figured he probably couldn't do nothing with it, so he held up.
And a strike up and in. And Trout shakes his head. 1-2.
Trout's a very good breaking ball hitter. It's 2-2. He can get him with the elevated fastball. Or if you throw the breaking ball a split, get it breaking down and away from him.
My image of Trout is he can mash anything that's down low. He's a low ball hitter, isn't he?
I mean, he can hit the ball wherever it's pitched. The home run that was 470 feet was a fastball elevated over the middle.
And now up high. 3-2 with Simmons on deck. Angels will put a couple of runners at first. They haven't advanced anybody to second, but now with 2 down and a full count, Estella will take off.
I don't know what pitch that was. That was 88. Probably was a cutter that he didn't get on top of. He kind of just spun.
Runner goes. Popped up weakly near the Twins dugout. Astudillo is there to end the inning. Another scoreless inning for Odorizzi. And the Twins hang on to that 1-0 lead. Has to be worked through, but expect he'll be joining this power-laden lineup, providing plenty of power himself. But look at this. 8 different players with 7 or more home runs. And the only redundancy, if you will, is the catcher spot. But Garver's played some other spots on the field, too. You got Crone with 12, Rosario with 13, Kepler with 9. Here is Sano leading off the Twins' 4th inning.
Definitely not an easy lineup to navigate through. There's no point in that lineup where you can take a breather.
Sano took ball 1 and then struck out in the 2nd inning. And he takes ball 2. And these at-bats, these situations will help Miguel break out of the slow start that he's in, just to be in more hitter-friendly counts.
Well, I thought that was a good take by him with a 2-0, a 1-0 breaking ball that he didn't offer at. And he swung at that one. That was a good breaking ball. It was a strike. He didn't go chasing, so he's getting his eye, seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand, unlike he did the first time. When he swung at the ball, it was clearly a ball out of his hand.
And another breaking ball. 2-2.
And this is tough, but this is where he has to be a little bit more selective when he gets 2 strikes. And if you're going to get him out on a pitch where you just missed it, not a pitch where you had no chance of hitting.
High fly to center. Trout over a few steps. 1 down. And that'll bring up Luis Arias.
I think that was a prime example. You know, that ball was in the strike zone and out front just a little bit. But he saw it as a strike out his hand and knew he had to swing. He saw it better.
Arias singled on the very first pitch he saw, came around to score the only run of the game so far.
Luis, no panic, Arias.
It's already been noticed that Arias, when he takes a ball, shakes his head from side to side. Like, no, that wasn't a strike. It's not anything other than a reminder to himself that that wasn't a strike. He's just a little more animated than anybody else.
I don't swing at that.
It's a little breaking ball over, and it's 1-1. Strike called, and it's 1-2. The other thing Arias told me that he worked extensively with in spring training with Misters Carew and Oliva was staying back, keeping your weight back. And he springs forward and fouls that pitch away, 1-2.
I like the fact that he's had success everywhere, but he's still seeking knowledge from guys who've been there and done it. Not at the point where he thinks he has it all figured out. There's a lot more to learn. And he's getting the tutelage from Tony Oliva and Rod Carew.
And he has another hit. 4 for 6. Hey, if you're going to ask about hitting from anybody, who would you rather go to than guys who've combined for 10 batting titles? Tony with 3, Rod with 7. Tony in uniform on the bench, and they had cleared with the Angels that Rod could join him in uniform. And Rod said he wouldn't feel real comfortable with that because, of course, he very respectful of his time with the Angels.
He definitely told us that.
Now, when the Twins have Mr. Carew back in Minnesota, maybe that'll happen. I hope it happens.
Hope so.
That'd be nice to see them both in the dugout together. Here's Castro with 1 out and 1 on.
You can rest assured they're in the dugout together. They will be sitting side by side.
We spent 4 weeks together in spring training.
Picking each other up in the mornings, eating dinner, going home with each other, eating dinner with each other's family. Roommates in the big leagues for, 11 years? I think they finished each other's sentences.
They had a hard time after they left the ballpark getting rid of Royce Lewis. Royce couldn't play much because he had a slight oblique pull. And it may, in the long term, have proved to be beneficial for Royce because he shadowed Carew and Oliva all during spring training. So did Alex Kirilloff. Pitch is up. And so you'd think, all right, it's downtime. It's a tough break for Royce Lewis. But you have to admire the young man for, all right, look, if I can't play, physically can't do anything, I'm going to follow those guys around, meaning Tony and Rod, pick up what I can, talk with them. 1-0 to Castro.
Sometimes when you get older, especially with pitching, your pitching philosophy and the way you go about it, it doesn't get outdated, but the way it's presented now is completely different. Well, hitting, from Tony's and Rod's perspective, that'll translate as long as baseball is being played.
2-0. And a strike called, 2-1. Castro hit a pop fly single down the left field line. And Arias alertly scampered to third base and then came in on the fielder's choice. Pena gave up 3 runs over 5+ innings in his appearance at Target Field. Swung on and missed. 2-2.
When Castro's making contact, he's hitting the ball hard. Highest in his career. 26.7% barrel rate.
That's how you drive in 17 runs in 61 at bats.
And with the barrel rate, like Rocco says, just trying to hit the ball hard on the barrel somewhere, and home runs are a direct result of that.
2-2 to Castro. Inside 3-2. See if the Twins send Arias here, as we've discussed over the weekend in Seattle. He can steal a base, he can run, he just doesn't have a very high minor league stolen base success percentage. Pretty good bet, I'm guessing here, that he'll go. Full count to Castro. Does not go, and Castro swings and misses. Got an off-speed pitch. Out number 2. That'll bring up Adrianza.
Pena stayed true to his best pitch. 3-2 slider, breaking straight down. Got Castro to swing over the top of it. Good slider, breaking straight down. Looked like a curveball.
Adrianza beat the double play relay to allow Arias to score. Pitch is up. Ball 1. He's thrown most of his 46 pitches from the stretch. With men on base. Missed again, 2-0.
Second time around in batting order. Taking a few more pitches, getting ourselves in hitters' counts.
Fell behind Castro, but came back to strike him out.
Being more patient. Get to be patient and aggressive at the same time.
(3-0) with Buxton on deck. Arias walked Polanco in the 3rd. See if Adrianza takes a pitch here. Takes a strike.
Still good hitters count, 3-1. Find something you can drive into the gap. Let's see Arias run.
Big pop-up left side, retreating is Simmons. Giving way to the left fielder. Good one with the catch. And the Twins are done in the top of the 4th. They don't want him throwing, they just want the bat this year.
LaTroy Ohtani is starting to find his groove and his swing. 2 home runs in the last 11 games this season. Starting to look like he did last year. When I first saw him in spring training, he had that high leg kick, and it's like he's not going to make it. He's not going to be successful here with that high leg kick. Worked in the toe tap, and he's going to make it over here in the States, hitting big league pitching every day.
Had Tommy John surgery. And of course, Ohtani, two-way player. So too is Jared Walsh, their first baseman. Walsh is their only left-handed reliever, and he's playing first base. Tapped up the line, a foul ball, 1 strike. Ohtani walked his first time up. He'll be followed by Simmons and Calhoun.
I saw Ohtani take batting practice, and it's just, I mean, he has some big-time power. He can hit the ball a long way, left, right, center field. Very impressive.
Swung on and missed. 2 strikes. Odorizzi's been good. He's given up a 2-out walk in the 1st, a 2-out single in the 3rd.
Opponent's batting average with 2 strikes against Odorizzi. They're hitting a measly 100.
Missed down and in. Power to all fields. We saw him hit one off the facing of the second deck over the bullpen at Target Field.
We'll talk about that toe tap. He has that toe tap now. Last year when he first got it, he had a big leg kick. Couldn't catch up to the fastball. Now he simplified things.
simplified his swing, his timing mechanism. Now he's getting to fastballs that he never would have been able to get to had he kept that big leg kick.
Beaten foul again. Well, the next half inning will be led off by Byron Buxton, and he shed the big leg kick too. Just has a little kind of a pivot with his front foot. And so far the results have been encouraging for Byron as well. 1-2. Odorizzi in a battle with Ohtani.
I think both guys realize they can have power.
Upstairs gets a swing and a miss, and Ohtani strikes out one down.
It's an elevated cutter, not the four-seam fastball that we normally see Odorizzi throw at the top half of the zone. It's a cutter. You see Ohtani open those hips. Looking for a fastball, just not the speed that he was looking for.
Simmons will bat. Up high. Mentioned in the pregame show, in terms of his demeanor, nice stuff. But and the way he moves the ball around the strike zone, particularly when he's pitching this well, Odorizzi reminds me of Brad Radke a little bit, just in terms of his, composure out there. He's stoic. The ball hit to center. Buxton coming over. He'll play it on a hop. And Simmons has a base hit with one down. A quick word now from the Minnesota Lottery.
See where summer takes you. Play the I'm Into Summer scratch game for a shot at $100,000.
You see any Radke and Jake Odorizzi?
I do. Radke, just like you said, didn't have a pulse. He went out there and did what he did, went about his business. You never knew if he was happy, sad, or in between. Brad Radke, we used to call him Bad Brad. He never broke a sweat.
Calhoun struck out swinging his first time up.
And like Odorizzi, Brad didn't throw hard, but his breaking ball was good, and his changeup was above average pitch. And everything came out of the same release point. Fastball, breaking ball, and changeup. And his control was absolutely amazing what he could do with all three of his pitches.
Inside and outside the strike zone. I mean, he pitched inside. He made hitters stay honest.
Brad won 20 games in 2001.
A bit of an exaggeration. He won 20 games for a team that didn't win many more than that. I mean,
right.
He was an ace on a team that didn't have much beyond him in terms of pitching.
Brad liked doing two things: playing baseball and fishing.
Yeah. 2 strikes now to Calhoun.
Odorizzi's at 2 strikes again. In 2018, 2 strikes, hitters hit 176. 2019, I said early, they're hitting 100. Right-handers, 246 this year, 146 for 2 strikes.
Checked his swing. Did he go? Strike 3, and Calhoun is done. 2 away.
Same fastball he couldn't hold up on in his first at bat with a strikeout. Results the same in the 4th inning.
Two down, and now Jonathan LaTroy. And strike 1. The year we were talking about with Radke, 1997, he won 20 games.
He was 4 years off. Wow.
And Rich Robertson won 8. Bob Tewksbury won 8. LaTroy Hawkins won 6 that year. But just the gap between a 20-game winner and who was next in the rotation with 8 The team only won 68 games that year, and Radke won almost a third of them.
Wow.
1 strike, and now a ball fouled to the screen, 2 strikes.
Bad Brad Radke.
Well, Odorizzi trying to win his 7th straight start. He's won 6 decisions before, but that was with the Rays, and that was over an 8-start span. Ahead of LaTroy 0-2.
Well, he and Castro are following the game plan just the way it was written up, drawn up.
And Astudillo with a hard tag, and Simmons slaps the gloves. Now, don't tag me that hard.
Simmons and our second baseman, Jonathan Scope, are both from Curacao, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They speak, what, 4, 5, 6 different languages?
I asked Jonathan that. He has 4 different languages he speaks, and Max Kepler, of course, speaks 3. So we have a multilingual Twins roster. Taking a low. And for Scope, it's English, Spanish, Papiamento.
And is it French? No?
I think you might be right. I think it is French.
I'm having trouble taking Spanish classes. I know 3 and 4 different languages.
1-2 to Jonathan LaTroy. Hit a ground ball to Arias his first time up.
Senor Richard. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Nice. Don't you wish you'd learned that, though, like in high school?
Listen, every time I take a class now online with a real teacher, I want to punch myself in the face because I wasted a quarter of a century. Well, I could have been getting it for free. A quarter of a century.
Oh, meaning your time in the big league.
My time in professional baseball. And it's a lot harder, more difficult when you learn it as a 45, 46-year-old.
Foul back off the glove of Castro.
So if anybody's out there that want to help me with Spanish, I would love to.
Don't look at me.
Oh, you're right. Lo siento, amigo.
I took German and Latin. I can't help you.
Really?
2-2. Odorizzi trying to wrap things up here in the 4th. Pitch count pretty good. Just 62 pitches.
Good old 2-strike count again.
Slow breaking ball, and LaTroy got a piece of it. Turned into quite a battle here.
It's a curveball. Odorizzi don't throw a lot of those, but LaTroy having a battle. He's sticking with this shift, and you can see where LaTroy likes to hit the ball and where he doesn't like to hit the ball.
Enough to the right side where the Twins have to position Arias on the right side of second base.
Anything hard hit to the right side he won't be able to get to, but hopefully if it's a 15 hopper he'll be able to get there.
Ooh, I think the pitcher and catcher thought they might have hit the corner.
And the guy in the booth.
Pitching him away, and then they zip this inside and hit the corner.
They had to cross the plate to get to that point.
Now a full count, and with 2 down, Simmons will take off. Astudillo continues to hold him at first.
When Odorizzi's gotten the 2 strikes, the Angels are 0 for 9 so far tonight.
And another foul back. He must have had a handful of these, probably an armful of at-bats like this where you just can't get strike 3 past the guy.
And you know, when I got into long battles like this, that was an opportunity for me to throw my changeup. I didn't throw a changeup that often, but when I got into an at-bat where the guy's fouling off my fastball, my slider, and he had to foul off multiple of those first 2 pitches, and then I would throw mixing a curveball. And if he's fouling that off, I'm going to the changeup.
Another 3-2 coming. And fouled back. I mean, I would imagine you're out there at some point and you confess he's not going to swing and miss. I've thrown him everything, and he's getting a piece of everything. Just put the ball in play and let somebody catch it.
If it was that easy.
That's why when guys say who was the hardest guy for you to face, and I would say like Ozzie Guillen when he was with the White Sox when I was starting, because he would foul the ball off, make you throw 9, 10, 11 pitches, and then ground ball to second base.
Would have done that on the first pitch.
Exactly.
Well, Odorizzi reloads, another 3-2.
So he can go back with his split finger.
Hit hard down the line. But he's thrown him the curve. He didn't throw many curves. He fouled that off. The fastball, changeup.
Throw him all 4. 10 pitch at bat. Now with him fouling off the split finger right there, he's going to have to get him with the elevated fastball. Going to have to get him to chase. You feel good when you win as a pitcher, when you win a lone battle like this with the hitter.
11th pitch of this at bat. And there'll be another.
And another thing I did when I got in the long at bats, I would change my rhythm, my time to the plate. A few times I'll come with a big leg kick, and if I get it to a point where I want to go fast, I'll slide step and make him have to make a decision, a little faster whether he wanted to swing or not. So that's another way that you disrupt timing with hitters.
Pitch number 13.
Wouldn't that have been something had that would have been the way he got out of this at bat? By
picking off the runner. Then you got to start all over again the next inning. Pick the guy off, and then you start the next inning. Oh, great, you again. With no balls and strikes.
That's when you hope you can get him on the first 2 pitches.
To center, and Buxton finally ends the inning. Odorizzi with 4 shutout innings, and the Twins with a 1-0 lead. Luis Arias going into the dugout, the only Twins run. Our Pepsi fans of the game. With their team ahead 1-0, and Byron Buxton will lead off the 5th inning. Right now, Fletcher, the third baseman's even with the bag at third. We'll see if Byron's tempted to bunt here.
A fan rocking the powder blue. I wonder whose name was on the back.
Inside, ball 1. Buxton, Kepler, and Polanco. The Killebrew, number 3.
Yes, indeed.
That is a fair ball. Buxton is thrown out on a fine play by David Fletcher. Now we know why he was positioned where he was positioned. He was positioned perfectly to make that play, and then it looked like it was going to bounce right over the bag.
Well, he had no time for any kind of play. He gets it, gets rid of it very fast, and throws a strike to first base over the Walsh.
Second time that Buxton's grounded out to Fletcher, and now here's Kepler. Down and in, ball 1. Kepler with a single on the first pitch of the game, then he went down swinging in the third. And a solid ground ball single to right. Kepler has his second base hit.
When Pena elevates that breaking ball, it elevates that fastball. That's when he gets in trouble. That's when the Twins can put a good swing on something and hit it hard somewhere. Kepler got him a hanging breaking ball that hovered around the top half of the zone. He could shoot that ball in the right field.
Polanco hit a hard ground ball for a fielder's choice in the first and coaxed a walk in the third. A deep drive to line right, but hit right at Calhoun. A bullet to the right fielder for out number 2.
Blanco hit the ball hard all 3 times.
And that'll bring up Astudillo. Jumping on the first pitch, 105 miles per hour off the bat. But right to the right fielder. Astudillo with a single his first time up. Then in what might have been a hit and run play, tried to chop the ball to the right side, but instead hit a chopper back to the mound in the 3rd inning.
I think that was because of Pena's movement that he has on his 2-seamer.
This one just foul. Fletcher almost asked to make the same play on Astudillo that he made on Buxton.
He had a lot more time to throw than he did the last time. I think Astudillo is overdue for a home run.
Throw to first, Kepler gets back. Astudillo's last home run was in Baltimore, remembering he spent some time on the injured list.
Pull hamstring, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Remember Kirby used to always say, you can't pull fat. I was just saying. He said it all the time. You know, I don't pull muscles because you can't pull fat. You only can pull a muscle.
One strike to Astudillo. To left field. Going back is Goodwin, still tracking it, and he gets there in the corner to end the inning. On to the bottom of the 5th, it's still 1-0 Twins. North is presented by Play, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. With Audra Martin and LaTroy Hawkins, Dick Bremer here in Anaheim. Jake Odorizzi's been good again tonight, but he's mixed up the repertoire from his last start against the Angels.
Did a great job, you know, doing everything he needs to do to be successful, getting the 2 strikes, had a couple 3-ball counts, 3-2 counts. He was able to make pitches when he had to. You know, looked like he's looked since April 17th.
Goodwin struck out swinging his first time up. He's just taken ball 1. He'll be followed by Walsh and Fletcher. And a fastball pops in for a strike, 1-1.
Goodwin was a victim of a 3-2 split finger for a strike 3 his first at bat.
Breaking ball, and Goodwin thought about bunting with Sano playing over where a shortstop would conventionally play. And the Twins dugout moves him back. He crept in a little bit, but Goodwin pulls the ball, so the Twins play the shift accordingly.
And if he want to bunt, you just give him that.
And that'll roll foul, 2 strikes. Simmons in a similar shift in Minnesota last week, bunted successfully. And the Angels as a whole, by design or not, got a lot of their hits against the shift. Pujols got, I think, 3-4 hits over the course of the series, hitting the ball to the opposite field weekly, but through the shift.
We'll give him that. We'll give him that. We'll give up a single. When I played, I didn't think it made sense. But looking at the information now that we have, because they have data from over the years of shifting.
To left. And Rosario puts it away. 1 away.
It definitely saves runs.
1 down, Jared Walsh, the batter.
But also was a guy, Richard, that said the way that guys hit LaTroy's fastball was probably different than the way they would hit Odorizzi's fastball. They might pull his fastball and shoot my fastball the other way. So I don't think it's the same. I'm a believer that every pitcher's not the same.
Talked with C.J. Cron today about hitting here. Cron, of course, a former Angel, and you pitched here. And I said, it's not a myth, is it, that the ball just doesn't carry well here at night? And we hear about the marine layer and all that. And Crone said, yeah, he said, this is very much can be, if you make your pitches, a pitcher's ballpark. Was that your experience here?
Yes, it was. Night games kind of get that humidity to come and sit in. It just sits right on top of the ballpark, and it makes, hitting the ball out of the ballpark just that much more difficult.
He said the ball carries to center field better than to left field here, and then you look at the dimensions, and it's 390 to just about straightaway left field.
But day games, that's a different.
Swung on and missed, and Walsh now has a 1-2 count.
Day game ball plays differently here. Ball does get up and go during the day.
Walsh now 3 for 8 since his call up.
I have seen some balls hit here. Out 0-2 American League Championship Series. The guy hit 3 home runs off of us. Oh,
Adam Kennedy.
Adam Kennedy. Yep, second baseman. 3 home runs.
2-2 from Odorizzi to Walsh.
It was K-Rod's year. They brought him up in August. And he was untouchable.
Chasing upstairs, another strikeout for Odorizzi. 2 down in the 5th.
Odorizzi.
6 strikeouts for Odorizzi.
And that's the second for Walsh. You got him looking with a fastball down the middle. This is bat in the 3rd inning. In the 5th inning, got him with the high fastball. He went up there telling himself that he wasn't going to swing at the high fastball. And what did he do? He swung at the high fastball.
Here's David Fletcher. Hit a ground ball to short his first time up. Outside, ball 1. Again, 2-0. 81 pitches for Odorizzi, and he's been very sharp again here tonight. A first inning walk and a couple of singles. That's been it.
He was in really good shape pitch-wise into that long at-bat, 12 pitch at-bat with Jonathan LaTroy.
Well, Odorizzi a little frustrated there. I think he thought he had that one at the knees, and instead it's called ball 3. Want to be walking the number 9 batter with the team leader in home runs, LaStella, on deck. What was that? And Castro thought it was a strike 2. 3-1.
Gary Seaton likes the ball up, not down. Make a pitch right here. Get him to hit a sac fly.
Taking all the way, and it's 3-2. And he missed. The number 9 batter walks. LaStella will hit with a man aboard.
Went 3-0 on Fletcher. Got back in the count with 2 fastball. Opted to go with the 3-2 split finger. It was just down. Fletcher didn't want to swing at it. Picked up the base on balls.
LaStella hit 2 home runs in Minnesota against the Twins, including an opposite field home run. They were both solo home runs, and the power has come from somewhere. When I talked with him in Minnesota, he said he really didn't get a chance to play that often. He was used by Joe Madden with the Cubs as a pinch hitter.
He's one of those guys that have benefited being away from Chicago because they had so many players, good players. He had to come off the bench and spell guys from time to time on an off day, play sparingly. He gets to play every day here in Anaheim, and he's showing what he can do day in and day out.
1-0 to LaStella. strike. Twins scratched a run across back in the second inning. That's been it. Close play. And getting back with Fletcher. Odorizzi picked off an Angel at target field, and he has one other pickoff as well. So teams need to be aware of his quick move.
Odorizzi, athletic guy with quick feet, uses athleticism to be quick to first base. Not only is he quick, he makes good throws. It's one thing being quick and not making a good throw to first base. He's quick with his feet and he makes good throws to first base.
When you threw over there, what was your target?
I was just throwing at the bag.
Okay.
Because first baseman, usually a tall guy, like you can't miss him.
Bunted in the air for a base hit. And there'll be runners at first and second. 2 men aboard for Mike Trout. Not even a good bunt, but there was nobody there to field it. This is just the 19th plate appearance for Mike Trout with runners in scoring position.
On the season.
On the season. Simmons hitting cleanup. So you'd expect him to have some more opportunities, particularly with Trout and his high on base percentage on base so many times. He's had 56 at bats, but that's remarkable that Trout has an opportunity here that's been so rare for him. Tying run at second, 2 down. Odorizzi's gotten him twice, once on a fly to the outfield, once on a foul pop to Astudillo. Is up high, ball 1. I don't know if Odorizzi's feeling he's getting squeezed a little bit here in the 5th inning. Pitch count is climbing. This will be number 90.
So you got to proceed with caution. It's a big at bat right here.
Strike percentage is fine. 56 strikes, 33 balls. But remember, there were so many foul balls in the LaTroy at bat.
He was in a good spot pitch-wise until that LaTroy at bat.
To left field, and Rosario puts it away. Threat over. A scoreless 5th and a 1-0 Twins lead. Trout hitting a fall to Eddie Rosario, stranding 2 runners on base. It's still a 1-0 ball game. Our Sanford Health injury report. Yoenis Cespedes reported multiple fractures in his right ankle after falling at his ranch Saturday night. And he hasn't been in uniform much, and it just adds to the drama surrounding the New York Mets. Now, reportedly, the Mets can void the contract, but if that happens, not only doesn't Cespedes gets paid, but neither does his agent, who happens to now be the general manager of the Mets, Rudy Van Wagenen.
I think that's called conflict of.
But if you feel duty bound, if you're the GM, to void the contract.
Okay, so
there's a high fly off the bat of Rosario deep to right center field. That ball is now caught by Trout in front of Calhoun, and that marine layer we were talking about, I think we just saw it, because if that ball's hit in the afternoon, it's about 5 rows back. So one down here in the 6th.
So what was Cespedes doing to fracture his ankle that they would consider voiding his contract?
See, off the end of the bat, Eddie wondering whether he got enough of it, but probably knowing in the back of his mind he did not. Justin Anderson getting loose in the Angel bullpen. And I don't know on what basis the Mets could void the contract, but the guy who would make the decision to do that at the time was Cespedes' agent. So to do that, he's going to be taking money out of his own pocket.
So I guess they would have to leave that decision up to Jeff Wilpon and Fred Wilpon, the owners of the team.
I guess it's just a really weird situation
to be in.
Yep. 1-0 to Sano. A strikeout in the second and a fly ball to center in the fourth. Pena's done a nice job here. This Twins lineup, of course, done a great job producing runs, and they were held to singles yesterday in Seattle. And Pena and Cole have held the Twins to singles, 6 of them here in tonight's ball game.
Doing a great job mixing in that sinker and throwing plenty of sliders, keeping guys off balance, and when they do get a chance to put it in play, not a lot of hard contact, some ground balls. He's benefited from a couple double plays.
3-0 to Sano. Smoked foul in his last plate appearance. Sano had a 2-0 count, and he got fed a steady diet of breaking stuff and ended up flying out. Here he got a fastball, but he couldn't wait long enough. 3-1.
Got a little trigger happy on the 3-0 fastball.
Another pop up behind second base. Trout waits, catches, 2 down. That'll get us to Arias. 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off June 7th, and all eyes will be on Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd, and the U.S. women's national team as the defending champions head to France looking to win an historic 4th World Cup. All the matches live on Fox and FS1. 2 down, here's Arias. He's got 2 of the 6 Twins hits. Single to right and a single to center. Ball 1.
Arias has had 2 very good at-bats.
Foul away.
Single in the second, single in the fourth. So we can get a double in the 6th.
Even though he's sturdy, stocky, hasn't shown much power in the minor leagues, that probably will come. Tried to bunt in front of third baseman Fletcher, 1-2. Ryan Harper getting loose. Odorizzi, 5 innings, about 90 pitches. And the Twins may be ready to go into the bullpen here.
Ryan's been one of the bright surprises out there for the Twins bullpen.
Liner to Simmons. And Arias, even when he makes outs, hits the ball hard. It's a 1-2-3-6. At bat that Odorizzi, Jonathan LaTroy didn't lead to this. Odorizzi's done 90 pitches, 5 shutout innings. But rather than have him start the inning and maybe get into some trouble and whatever, we start the inning fresh with a new pitcher and also a vote of confidence in not only Ryan Harper but the rest of the Twins bullpen too.
Yeah, he was in a good spot into that long 12 pitch at bat with LaCroix in the 5th inning, in the 4th inning. But you're right, instead of sending him out there for the 6th inning, getting into a little trouble, go with the fresh arm and Ryan Harper.
A walk to the number 9 batter in the 5th probably didn't help either. Here is Shohei Ohtani, then Andrelton Simmons and Cole Calhoun facing the curveball specialist Ryan Harper.
Last pitch, 5-18 in Seattle. 1 inning, 1 strikeout.
Drops the breaking ball over. It'll be a mix of fastballs and a whole variety of curveballs at different speeds, different grips. He prefers to think of them as completely different pitches because of the different grips. Inside, 1-1.
Yeah, Harper has got some funkiness in his delivery, a lot of deception, makes his breaking, then able to spin the ball, and can run his fastball up there, 92 miles an hour,
1-1 to Ohtani. Fastball, 90 miles per hour, but in a good spot.
Good spot. I think that's a spot where Ohtani can hurt you.
Slower breaking ball, a big wave and a miss, one away. With one gone in the sixth, let's go to Audra Martin.
Well, guys, I was talking with Jason Castro earlier today about this team's ability to bounce back after losses, and he says it all starts with how loose everyone is in the clubhouse, and then from there, they never feel like they're out of any game. He said that really reminds me of 2 years ago when we went to the wild card game. He said the camaraderie, the positive vibe in the clubhouse, it all feels like it did back then, but I will be honest, I feel like we have more depth this year, especially with pitching. He says, but of course, talent is only part of the equation. You have to have those intangibles as well. And he says it's crazy to think that we have those intangibles and even more talent. When you look at really how good we were a couple of years ago, now it's all coming back together full circle, and you got to get excited thinking about what we can do with it, guys.
Sano in front of the Angel dugout. And a quick second out on a breaking ball. Simmons popped it straight up in the air, 2 down. You've been on a lot of teams, and some teams that were good, some teams that weren't so good. But there comes a point, and I think this Twins team has reached that point. It's one thing to be good, but it's another to know you're good. You know, the confidence that the team has.
That's true, and this team reminds me of the 02, 03 Twins teams that I played on. We had a lot of fun. We're a very close-knit team. We did a lot of things together. We had fun in the clubhouse, and we went out on the field, and we lifted everybody up. Everybody was rooting for one another. We wanted everybody to do well because we understood if everyone did well, you know, at the end of the season, we'll be right where we needed to be, and that's in the hunt for a playoff spot. And they seem to have that same mentality, that same camaraderie.
Calhoun takes ball 1. Thrilled that Odorizzi's out of the game. He struck out twice swinging against Odorizzi. 1-0 from Harper. Over the inside corner with a breaking ball. We've seen it as slow as, I think, 68 miles per hour.
And that's one of the things that Harper does well. He's able to change the speeds on his breaking ball. Not many guys can do that. You know, they change the speeds with the slider as opposed to the curveball, but he has 2 different curveballs.
And then he came back with a fastball and got a swing and a miss. I would imagine what happens is when you've got a couple of different breaking balls, as Harper has, you get at bats like the Simmons one. Simmons may have gone up there thinking breaking ball, but he couldn't time it because
the difference in speed.
It's a difference in speed. He ends up hitting a weak pop up, and the at bat was over. 1-2.
You can throw 2 different curveballs, different speeds. And Harper has a real good feel for pitching.
Wow. Harper carves up Calhoun and has a quick 1-2-3-6. Story of the game, just 1 on the board.
Luis Arias would come across the score off a fielder's choice by Adrianza and Odorizzi. 6 strikeouts, no earned runs. We had it going today, and the biggest out of the game. The last out is Trout, getting him to fly out to left field.
Odorizzi taken out after that. Of course, that was the hope the other day when Jose Barrios had the huge lead, but he ran into all kinds of trouble trying to get that 15th out and never did because of the pitch count. So now Justin Anderson will come into a 1-0 ball game pitching to the Twins in the 7th.
15 games, a 3.14 ERA. 6 walks, 22 punch-outs.
And it'll be Jason Castro, A-Ray Adrianza, and Byron Buxton in the Twins 7th. One other footnote on Odorizzi. Only 9 of 20 first-pitch strikes, but he retired all but 2 of the hitters that he didn't throw strike 1 to. Here's Castro, singled, pop fly single in the second that advanced Arias to third, where he later scored. Then he went down swinging in the fourth. Inside, ball one.
You know, you put a lot of emphasis on that first strike. But if you can't get that first strike, that second strike, the next pitch has to be a strike. You get back in the count at 1-1. Justin Anderson pitched a scoreless inning on Friday night against the Royals with 2 strikeouts.
1-1 to Castro.
We call from AAA Salt Lake City, April 23rd, just a little under a month ago.
Twins AAA affiliate, used to be in Salt Lake City. Did you go through there?
I spent a lot of time in Salt Lake City, Buzz. 4 years. 4 years in Salt Lake. Parts of 4 years. Parts of 4 years.
Castro taps it. Walsh to the bag, 1 away. And that'll bring up Adrianza. Target Field's new Mauer Suite is now available for nightly rental. Accommodating 20-plus guests, the Mauer Suite offers a fantastic view of the game from behind the plate, the same view enjoyed by the Mauer family throughout Joe's career at Target Field. Call 833-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com/group. Schedule your event in the Mauer Suite. I'm guessing, I don't know this, but I'm guessing there's probably some nice artwork in there of Joe. Right?
It better be.
If you're going to name the suite after him, there should be some pictures of him, right? Strike one to Adrianza. Adrianza got credit for the run batted in.
And if Matt Hoy's listening, hopefully he's scrambling to get some Joe Mauer things in that suite.
That's one of the things that, you know, you I'm sure have done it too, but whenever there's some idle time, like if we're got a split doubleheader and there's some time, for fans who can walk around the ballpark and see the beautiful artwork of the former Twins greats everywhere, it's a very underrated feature of that ballpark.
No, Target Field is absolutely amazing.
Just missing outside.
When it first opened, I came in town with the visiting team a couple times and just didn't feel Target Field at all, just because, you know, I spent my career here playing at the Metrodome, and I really enjoyed the Metrodome. And I remember vividly, I was one series in, I was coming up the center home plate elevator, and after the game to meet some of the members of my fan club.
The ball slashed to left. Adrianza has a base hit with one down, and now we'll see what the Twins do, if anything. Maybe put a play on with Buxton at the plate. Maybe try to send Adrianza to steal a base.
So went up to the home plate elevators to meet some friends on the concourse, and they still had the lights on. So I got a chance to see it from behind home plate for the first time ever in my career. And I looked and I was like, wow, that is a beautiful view.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, from that point on, I'm a fan of Target Field. It's a great place to watch a ball game.
Here's Buxton, 2 ground balls to the third baseman, Fletcher, so far tonight. A runner aboard. And back at first is Adrianza.
You can hear Tommy Hawkins, our first base coach, screaming back.
Big leg kick, and Buxton, I don't know, LaTroy didn't catch that ball. Don't think it hit the dirt. He just didn't catch it. It looked like it was almost a strike from up here. Oh, it did bounce. 1-0 to Buxton.
Coy was visibly upset because he fired the ball back at the pitcher, Justin Anderson. Maybe he put on a pick to first and he threw a pitch home.
Want to know to Buxton. Breaking ball and a swing and a miss.
Justin Charles Anderson out of Houston, Texas. 14th round by the Angels in 2014. Went to college at Texas San Antonio.
Pitch is up 2-1.
Average speed this year on his fastball is 94 miles an hour. His average exit below 86 miles an hour. Not a lot of hard contact off of Mr. Anderson this year.
2-1 to Buxton. And fouled off the screen above the Twins dugout. Now 2-2. Long look at Tony Diaz, the third base coach. Twins out hitting the Angels 7-3, trying to take advantage of their 7th hit. Adrianza's one-out single. Fouled back.
And Justin Anderson is 2-0 with a 3.38 ERA, 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, and 15 strikeouts. Opposing batting average 200 here at Angel Stadium this year.
Two to Buxton. Adrianza dives back. Twins haven't done much base stealing. Adrianza hasn't even tried. Twins have 11 steals in 17 attempts, but 8 of the 11 stolen bases are by Byron Buxton, the guy in the batter's box. Marwin Gonzalez has one. Jorge Polanco has one.
You got a team that's hitting home runs at the rate and extra base hits. I think you can just settle down on the running because guys are putting the ball in play.
Cracked bat, and that'll get into the seats. Eddie Rosario has the other stolen base. If you're wondering how you get to 11, adding 8, 1, and 1. Rosario with a steal. Buxton battling. Neither team has an extra base hit. Twins have been limited to singles through yesterday's game and so far here tonight. Outside now 3-2. We'll see if the Twins move Adrianza with a full count and 1 out. Buxton, of course, strikeout prone once every 4 at bats roughly this year, which is kind of his average in the minor leagues.
Pick him out a good pitch. Drive this ball in the gap. Let's see Adrianza score from first on a double.
Adrianza stays put and the ball popped foul into the seats. Well, not as long as LaTroy's battle with Odorizzi, but this has become a lengthy at bat.
They can throw a few pitches. If you can't get them, set them up for failure against Max Kepler.
Foul tip LaTroy hangs on. Buxton strikes out, 2 down.
Anderson just read it back and threw his best pitch. Here's my best. Give me your best, Buxton. He threw the fastball right past him at 95 miles an hour. Read back, good fastball.
2 down, and now Kepler, who has 2 of the 7 twin singles.
Both times we've seen the long at bats, one by Buxton, one by Matthew LaTroy, and the pitchers have won the battle.
Up high, ball 1. Boy, it's one of those games. It's a 1-0 game. There's so much importance on 90 feet.
That's why it was important. It's a big play for Arias, reading that base hit off of Castro's bat, advancing from first to third base. Adrianza comes up, hits a ball to first base. They try to turn 2. He hustles down the line, beats it out. Arias scores.
Inside 2-0.
Huge run so far.
And now 2-0 to Kepler, and of course, Adrianza got the 1-out single. Whole situation changes if by the end of this at bat he can at least be at second base.
Fastball.
Outside 3-0, Polanco on deck. Polanco's hit the ball hard twice and walked. Doesn't have a hit yet.
Kepler might have a take sign right here. Not.
3-0 to Max Kepler. And he takes ball 4, and there's your 90 feet. Potentially big walk taken by Kepler, given who is going to stand in the box next. Leading the league in hitting at .339. 8 home runs, 21 runs batted in, and tonight he's hit 2 smashes. In the first inning, Simmons caught his smash on the backhand side and got a force play at second base. Walked in the third. Then he hit a bullet to the right fielder, Calhoun.
Big change from last year to this year for Polanco in the ground ball, fly ball rate. Last year, 2018, ground balls 85, fly balls 80. 2019, only 35 ground balls and 68 fly balls.
Long meeting on the mound. Doug White, pitching coach for the Angels. 2 aboard and Polanco at the plate. Polanco takes a strike. Ty Buttrey getting loose in the Angels' pen.
Good team score runs with 2 outs.
Good take. You know, one of Polanco's strengths, and there are many, as a hitter, he feels comfortable with 2 strikes. And we've seen him do a lot of damage with 2 strikes, so there's no urgency. And we've seen him ambush the first pitch, too. But he just took strike 1, and it's no big deal. He's got 2 left.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's that patient aggressiveness.
Fouled back. A very aggressive swing.
Seen 3 of those from him tonight. All been on fastballs. And swinging so aggressively his kickstand falls. Oh, down goes the kickstand.
The only run of the game, scoring on an out. Polanco hoping to deliver a run-producing hit.
Try to go with the breaking ball down over the middle of the plate.
A weird foul off the end of the bat and off the screen near the Angels dugout. I don't know how you can even foul that pitch that was inside over where he fouled it. The inning continues for Anderson. Pitch number 25.
Anderson's been very deliberate. You know, some may say he's taking too long, but he doesn't get the pitch that much. He's not out there that often, that long, so very important innings to take as much time as he needs.
And now 2-2.
And the fans get a little impatient with the guy taking his time, but hey, he's an important part of the ball game. Make sure that everything's, you check every box, making sure him and the catcher are on the same wavelength, just making sure he makes good pitches.
2-2, and now time called.
And then when you get too deliberate, the hitter steps out. It's a 1-0 ball game. Like Richard said, at 90 feet means a lot in this game.
2-2 to the league's top hitter. And now 3-2. And everybody will be moving here. Adrianza from second. Kepler from first. Astudillo on deck. Full count to Polanco.
Come with his best pitch, the fastball.
Popped up and will reach the seats. The pitch count increasing and the magnitude of each pitch increasing.
1-0 game. Got a runner in scoring position, 2 outs. You want to take your time and not rush through this situation. You take your time.
Another 3-2. To center field. Trout is over to make the catch. Polanco's got nothing to show for 3 great at-bats. He's hit the ball hard 3 times. The Twins strand 2. Presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. If the Twins win this game, they'll need to rely on a bullpen that's been pretty good as of late, particularly on the road. Our Bellegarde paving the way. Twins' opponent batting average out of the bullpen on the road in the month of May has been really good. And we'll see if Harper can somehow match what he did in the 6th. At a 1-2-3 inning, now facing LaTroy. Down and away, ball 1.
You know, the bullpen always the part of the team are the unsung heroes. You only hear about them when they're blowing saves or something like that. You never hear about them that much when they're going well.
LaCroix's 0 for 2, grounded out in the second, had a long battle with Odorizzi before Odorizzi got him to line out to end the 4th inning.
I saw LaCroix take a peek down third base. I don't know if he was thinking about bunting or not.
Sano playing a deep third. But now the count's 2-0. Taking all the way, 2-1. LaCroix, Goodwin, and Walsh in the Angels' 7th. Dropped a breaking ball over. 2-2. Yeah, he's still on the team. Taylor Rogers getting loose. Had a nice little break, much needed, much deserved. Looks like he might be next out of the Twins' pen.
Right before batting practice, we're in the clubhouse, and he walked past, and I said, hey, don't be afraid to pitch tonight.
Fastball flip foul, still 2-2. Twins with 7 singles, the Angels with 3 singles.
I think LaCroy is definitely a candidate for that slow 69 miles an hour. Eat this curveball.
In the dirt, 3-2. Angels have had 5 base runners. 4 of them have gotten there on base after the second out. Harper usually pretty good about throwing strikes when he needs to. Full count to the leadoff man in the 7th. Slow breaking ball and a weak pop-up. Arias in the outfield grass. 1 down. And that'll bring up Goodwin. Now time for T-Mobile's connection to the game. Ronald Acuna Jr., 10th career leadoff home run. Carlos Stanton on a rehab assignment. And David Price, 5 shutout innings against the Jays. First game off the injured list. Red Sox won handily. And now Goodwin. The Indians lost 6-4 to Oakland, so if the Twins hang on and win this game, the lead will grow back to 5.5 games.
In between innings, Richard, I mentioned that you have a good team and a good bullpen. You have that guy, that one guy that can bridge the gap from your starter to your late inning guys. And Harper reminds me of a guy that we played with in 02, 03, Tony Fiore. And he had 91 innings out of the bullpen. He won 10 games out of the bullpen. He bridged that gap from the starter to late inning guys. And every team is successful. They have one of those guys.
87, it was Juan Berenguer. Harper, 4 up, 4 down, 2 strikeouts and 2 weak pop-ups. That's poked to right, and Kepler plays it on a hop right off the end of the bat. A 1-out single here in the 7th. That'll bring up Walsh.
Good curveball. Down. Goodwin just was able to, everything got out front, but he kept his hands back, was able to dump that ball into right field, just out of the reach of nice Kepler. For a 1-out base hit.
Trip to the mound. That'll be it for Ryan Harper, and Taylor Rogers will come in with the tying run at first and 1 down.
Minnesota Twins and may reproduce or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and description of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Minnesota Twins LLC.
Taylor Rogers coming in, but he won't pitch to Jared Walsh. He'll pitch to Albert Pujols. Rogers making his first appearance since May 14th against the Angels. Pujols put on the bench to start this game, but he'll hit and take over at first base. Walsh had gone 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts.
Taylor, 18 innings, 25 strikeouts.
in there for a strike. From time to time this year, we've mentioned that Rogers is kind of in the minds of some scouts, kind of where Andrew Miller was a couple years ago. I had a chance to talk to Cody Allen today, who was a teammate of Miller's with the Indians. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Allen thought that was a really good comp, not just because of the velocity that Rogers has, the breaking ball that he has, but the release point, which is it's not over the top. It's what we call low three-quarters. And he likened Rogers' release point as being similar to Miller, similar to Chris Sale's. It's just that they're bigger, taller people by a few inches.
And that release point allows that slider to get going and sweeping and just breaking in hard on the right-hand hitters.
That one stayed outside, 1-2.
I'm sure this is the matchup that Brad Ausmus, when they go over their pregame game planning, one of the matchups that he looked at and said he liked.
Pujols making just his second pinch hitting appearance of the year. Beaten foul.
Bounced that ball off the front of the plate and he came up and hit him in the back of his arm. I signed with the Angels in 2012. And December, 2 days later, they signed Pujols for that record $250+ million. And by far the best team I had been on up to that point had been assembled. And it was Trout's rookie year. And we all know what type of rookie year he had. And it was just a joy watching these two guys, plus Torrey, just go to work every day.
Saw Pujols' success against Rogers.
Pujols is a veteran savvy hitter. He's looking to clear those hips and turn on something inside.
Down and in, 2-2. Expect to see Pujols play at first base in the next two games of this series and the balance of this game. Angels a little tied up roster-wise because if they want to play Ohtani, he has to DH. They don't want him playing a position at all, much less pitch. That limits the DH possibilities for Pujols. Missed, and not by much. A fastball to fill the count.
It's a good 2-2 fastball.
Did it hit the
Good
bottom
spot.
of the zone? Nope. Full count. Good one at first.
Who else is going to be trying to cheat to get to a fastball here?
Breaking ball lifted foul.
Over the years, he's such a great hitter, tough out. The father time has caught up with him, and still a smart hitter because he understands that he has to get going early to catch up some of those fastballs now, and he pick and choose through the course of the bat when he's going to cheat. And if you throw it right there where he's swinging, he can still hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Ball 4. And now the tying runs at second with one down. That's really something that's always been impressive about Pujols. He's never been a high strikeout guy. Even in his later years. Now Pujols will be pinch run for. Cozart will run for him. Brad Ausmus using two of his bench moves here in the seventh inning. Even in his declining years, Pujols not a high strikeout guy. He has never struck out 100 times. He's never struck out more than 93 times in a season.
That in itself is amazing.
Here is Fletcher with the tying run at second and one down. And Rogers
just missing.
Missing ball one with the fastball. Nine pitches for Rogers, only 4 strikes. 2-0. Fletcher drew a 2-out walk against Odorizzi in the 5th, and here comes Wes Johnson.
He's not missing by a lot. Just a little time off. Sometimes you get just a little bit rusty, and a lot of energy, real strong. Get a couple pitches under his belt. Be able to throw strikes. He's not missing by much. It's not like he's all over the place. And he hasn't pitched since Tuesday, so there could be some rust. Coming out of the bullpen after all that time off, is strong. Overthrowing a little bit sometimes.
There's the outside corner of 95.
West comes out there and he throws a strike.
Within his absence, there was one time in Seattle where he got hot in the bullpen. He got warmed up, but was not brought into the game. 2-1 now to the number 9 batter.
A 6-4-3 double play.
Fly ball center field. Buxton with plenty of room, making the catch. And advancing to third base is Goodwin. But now 2 down for LaStella. LaStella with 2 of the 4 Angel hits. He's been a real pest to the Twins, both last week in Minnesota when he hit a couple of home runs, and here tonight. Odorizzi only gave up 3 hits, and 2 of them were to the Angels' second baseman. And their first strike.
Tommy Estella spent 2014 to 2018 with the Atlanta and the Chicago Cubs for over 828 at-bats, only 10 home runs. 2019 for the LA Angels, 125 at-bats, 11 home runs so far this season.
Fouled away, 2 strikes. It's peculiar that to this point in the season, Rogers has pitched well, but he has exaggerated reverse splits.
Yes, he does.
7 hits and 19 at-bats for lefties. Buckley and Bedrosian warming up in the Angels pen, but Rogers gets ahead of LaStella, 0-2. Last year, Rogers allowed an opponent batting average to left-handers of 180. He faced 100 left-handed batters, and they got 18 singles. He didn't give up 1 extra base hit to a lefty.
Total domination.
And here it's been just the opposite. Lefties have had much greater success.
The right-hand hitters hitting 255. But what I like about Taylor is when he gets in situations like this, he is so comfortable, doesn't panic, and bears down and makes pitches.
Base hit to tie the game. On an 0-2 pitch, LaStella delivers a game-tying single, and it's 1 apiece.
thought I hate to speak too soon right there. Fastball over the heart of the plate. Able to slap that ball into center field, just over Adrian's head.
And now Trout with the go-ahead run at second. Trout hitless tonight. Put the ball in the air 3 times. Inside ball 1. Trout's got reverse splits of his own. And there again, 1-2. Rogers ahead of Trout. Trying to get the Twins off the field in a tie game.
A couple different angles he can take to get him out. Elevate the fastball. Or breaking ball, sweeping breaking ball at his back foot. Has to be down because he handles the breaking ball down very well.
Got it. Fastball. Ends the inning. Trout never swung the bat. But Tommy La Stella did. Got another big hit against the Twins. And we're done. Have played in their particularly recent history. Here we are going to the 8th, and it's tied at 1.
Very close ball game.
New pitcher and some defensive changes for the Angels as well. This guy's been really, really good. Ty Buttrey throws hard. He gives up some hits, but he has hardly been giving up a run at all this year, and he'll face Astudillo to start the 8th.
A .76 ERA. Will strike you out. Doesn't allow too many free passes, only 4 on the season.
Delivers outside ball 1. Astudillo, a single his first time up. Chopped to the right side, hit right to La Stella, who's playing first base now. 1 down. Cozart staying in the game, playing at third base. Fletcher has moved to second, and La Stella has moved to first. 1 down, and now Rosario. 0 for 3.
Buttrey, 2012 4th-round draft pick by the Boston Red Sox. He hails from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Here's Rosario. Popped up behind third. Chased by Cozart and foul ground. Can't get there, and going into a slide is Simmons. Let's hope he's all right. Looks like everybody's fine. Rosario popped it up, and it carried just far enough to be out of reach.
Both guys ran a long way for that ball. All 3 guys ran a long way. Simmons, Cozart, and Goodwin. Just out of the reach of Cozart. Simmons gave up on that. Didn't give up on it. He went into a slide mode to avoid the collision. Buttrey, average fastball 96 miles an hour.
And Rosario gets his first hit, another single. The last 16 hits for the Twins have been singles. Remember Saturday night, they hit 6 home runs, doubles, emerged with a .511 slugging percentage. And their last hit on that Saturday night was a single. All 7 hits yesterday were singles, and now all 8 hits today have been singles.
That tells me one thing, Richard. They're overdue.
And Sano is overdue. He's 0 for 3. Struck out his first time up. Hit a couple of towering fly balls to Trout in his next 2 at-bats. Well in front of the plate. And another nice job by LaTroy. We've seen enough of Rosario to know that the ball doesn't have to bounce away from the catcher too far for him to try to advance. But LaTroy not only blocked it, but he controlled the carom.
Buttrey pitched against the Twins at 5-13, 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts.
And Sano has had the benefit of having some favorable counts. 3-0 in his last at bat before flying out. 2-0 the time up before that, and he flew out. And there's another 2-0 pitch. Driven to deep right center field. That ball is back and gone.
Yeah.
Sano to the opposite field, and the Twins take a 3-1 lead.
Richard, I said that means one thing. What? We're long overdue. Mr. Sano delivers.
As good a hitter as he is, you just can't keep falling behind good hitters 2-0 and 3-0, and Buttrey paid the price.
Fastball right down the middle. Sano puts a very good swing on it. Understands he doesn't have to pull the ball to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Right center field, one of the deepest parts of this ballpark. We get a Twins a 3-1 lead.
And now Arias. He's hit the ball sharply 3 times, has 2 hits. Big late home run for Miguel Sano.
And he's only hitting 150. That just went up with the home run. But the last 2 games, we've seen him take some good at-bats. Nothing to show for him, but they were good at-bats. He was seeing the ball better out of the pitcher's hand, getting into good counts. He swung at that one breaking ball early in the game that wasn't a strike, wasn't nowhere near a strike, but he's been patient. He's been patient. He's finally got a ball he can handle, and he did some damage.
And the string of singles is over. 2-1 to Arias. Ground ball right side. Great stop by Fletcher, but he throws off target. Arias should get credit for another hit. What are they going to do with this guy?
Stay hot, young man. Stay hot.
What are they going to do with this guy? Puts the barrel on the ball every time. You know, we both were talking with Rod Carew today, and Arias came up, and of course they embraced because they did work extensively together in spring training, and we both thought, well, he kind of swings the bat like Carew, but you know what, and this is terribly unfair, but he kind of looks like Tony Gwynn. I mean, he's stockier than Carew ever was, and Gwynn was a stockier hitter than Rod Carew, but just the way his follow-through is, and like Gwynn, I mean, everything he's hit hard.
I think it's great that we're having a conversation. We're using names like Rod Carew
and
Tony
Gwynn.
It's
terribly
It's
unfair.
not terrible unfair because you know what? He has similarities to those guys. A lot of similarities.
Well, the Angels will go one man deeper into their bullpen. The Twins do some damage against Buttrey and lead 3-1. Ty Buttrey, the first home run that Buttrey's allowed in 41 innings in the big leagues. And it came in a dramatic time, putting the Twins up 3-1. And the Twins aren't done here in the 8th inning. Cam Bedrosian coming in for the 21st time, and he too has put together some good numbers this year.
Bedrosian was the opener this year. Made his 3rd start against the Twins on a Tuesday night and was charged with the loss.
Arias at first with 1 down, and now Castro, a single in 3 trips.
Bedrosian, a 2010 first-round pick by the Los Angeles Angels.
In there for a strike. Told the story before over the years. Bedrosian born right before the playoffs and World Series in 1991. Steve was a member of the Twins bullpen that time in that year. Castro swings and misses.
Castro looked a little upset at himself for missing that pitch. Got some work to do, down 0-2.
Castro and then Adrianza. Foul ball, and Castro's at bat still alive.
16 out of the 20 games Cam Pedrosin's pitched in this year have been scoreless.
Blake Parker, the former Angel, getting loose. It's been a pitching change. It's been a long half inning. Rogers threw probably more pitches than the Twins wanted to. They've still got 6 outs to get. 2 strikes to Castro. And now a ball.
Good take. High fastball. Castro looking for something he can drive.
Ohtani, Simmons, and Calhoun will hit for the Angels in the 8th. Remember, Pujols entered and has left the ball game. Close pitch taken. And it's 2-2.
Gary Cederstrom hadn't called many pitches down in the zone. He's giving them the pitch up, but not down. Borderline pitch.
If you were on the mound, you'd want that one, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's true. I want everything when I'm on the mound, Richard. I want everything.
And Castro strikes out, 2 down. That'll bring up Adrianza. Join Fox Sports North as we inspire girls to be healthy and confident at the Alaris Mortgage Girls on the Run Twin Cities Spring 5K, Saturday, June 1st at Mall of America. This family-friendly run is open to all. You can register or volunteer by visiting foxsportsnorth.com/events. Here's Adrianza. Twins playing with a 2-run lead. See if they maybe try to get a little creative here and let Arias see if he can steal a base. Roshan checks him.
Adrianza's gotten that batting average up over the Mendoza line. He's been swinging the bat well.
Down and away.
Miguel Sano's home run, that was his second career home run on a 2-0 count. 19 home runs on the first pitch, but only his second in a 2-0 count.
1-0 to Adrianza. Over for a strike and off speed pitch.
Now that's a pitch right there that they used to not call the elevated breaking ball.
Okay.
Well, at least I feel like I never got that pitch.
Never. Not
Never.
once.
Not once. Not in my whole career, Richard. No.
1-1. And that's cracked foul into the seats. 1-2.
And I'm usually a guy that's pretty cold, and you call the whole entire game with your jacket on. Just got comfortable.
It's what first pitch temperature was, what, 62 degrees? It's not much cooler than that now. We got some Easy Bake oven pinned up to the ceiling here.
I only feel the
warm.
Easy Bake on the top of my head, and I don't have any hair.
1-2. Adrianza fights off a nasty pitch to stay alive. And LaTroy will get a little time to let the pain subside.
Probably the best breaking ball that Bedrosian's thrown. He was able to just get a piece of it to stay alive. 1-2 count.
One and two, and Arias is still at first base.
There's an elevator coming up to the press box, and Scott Boras got on the elevator. He said, "You look like you can still pitch." I was like, "Nope, I'm carrying footballs now."
Swung on and missed. And that'll end the inning. But Miguel Sano, through the Marine layer, hits a 2-run home run to the opposite field, and the Twins are up 3-1. Rogers out on the mound, facing Shohei Ohtani. Simmons, a right-handed batter next, and then another lefty, Cole Calhoun. So we'll see how many outs Rogers can get here in the 8th inning. Strike on the outside corner. It's odd because it seems like Rogers' stuff is as good as ever, and he dominated left-handers last year. Maybe it's just a small sample size. Certainly the manager has confidence to send him out here with potentially 2 left-handed batters this inning. Popped up, fouling out of play, 0-2.
That's exactly what it is, just a sample size. Hadn't found his dominance against lefties just yet, but with his repertoire of pitches, his arm angle, once he get into a good groove against lefties, they're going to be in trouble.
And now with 2 strikes, the Twins straighten up the infield, 2 aside. And Ohtani does 3 pirouettes with that swing, but he got a piece of it to stay alive.
Looked like a Ichiro Suzuki swing right there.
Like a ballerina. But he's still there. Look at this. 1, 2.
Yeah, he started to swing at that ball and just kept going away from his bat, and he had to extend his arms a little bit.
Now there is a foul ball, and if it hit him, he's out. And it apparently hit him. We've seen this happen so many times this year, and Ohtani is looking at his fingers, and it apparently hit his fingers and not the bat. He should be called out, but more importantly, is he okay? Yeah, that's a swing. He's out. But the ball hit him right across the fingers. And that's a potentially serious blow to the Angels. We saw it happen to C.J. Cron earlier this year. And just what you said, on his prior swing, he started his swing early. And this time Rogers delivered the pitch inside, and he couldn't get out of the way nor stop his swing. That doesn't look good.
The fact is that he wanted to swing at that ball, and it was all on top of him. That lets you know how tough in that bat it is, a lefty on lefty with Taylor Rogers.
Well, now they're going to look at it to see whether the ball hit his bat, but my goodness, Ohtani can't even clench his fist, so obviously it didn't hit his bat. It hit the bottom hand. I know Brad Ausmus talking with Gary Cederstrom about something.
Maybe he's saying it's a foul ball.
Well, it can't. I mean, look at his player. And I don't know whether they've declined to allow a challenge here. Well, Ohtani, he's standing on the field, but he's got to be out. And he's at least able to squeeze his hand. And we'll take that as some encouragement that he might be okay.
I like how Brad Ausmus pulled Gary Cederstrom away when Taylor Rogers started throwing some warm-ups.
And the Angels trainer did the same with Ohtani. It's like, let's come over here.
Apparently, the discussion is about the Angels' request to have it looked at, and the umpires are not allowing it. Because clearly the batter was hit by the pitch while he swung. So Ohtani is out. We'll hope that he's okay. And Rogers now will face Simmons. Simmons single in the fourth. 1 for 3. And an awkward swing by the right-hander. 1 strike.
Really good fastball at the bottom of the zone, sinking.
Tapper, right side. Rogers has got to hustle to the bag. An awkward play, but he got there. And now Simmons is rolling in pain. Oh, my. Brad Ausmus is going to have his video guy look at this play. I don't even think that Simmons landed on Rogers' foot. I just think he landed on the bag awkwardly. Astudillo feeds Rogers. There's the out.
Oh.
And Simmons extending his stride.
And rolled that ankle.
Never made contact with Rogers at all.
It's a great bare hand play.
Oh, my.
That doesn't look good.
On back-to-back at-bats. Maybe the finest defensive shortstop in the game. He's able to put some weight on that foot. But the number 3 batter for the Angels tonight. Hit by a pitch, and then Simmons trying to get to the bag before Rogers, and again, he didn't make any contact with Rogers at all.
It's a great play by Astudillo about barehanding that ball, knowing he didn't have much time. And a great play by Rogers getting over there to beat Simmons to the bag.
I love watching that man play shortstop. Hope that he's okay as well as Ohtani. What an awful bottom of the 8th inning for the Angels. And you're right, a really good play by Astudillo and by Rogers, who's got to run toward the bag and try to find the base with his foot. And credit Astudillo with feeding him the ball sooner rather than later.
And being a left-hand pitcher, so he has to come across his body to receive the ball and try to find first base all in the same motion. And Ausmus has already used 2 guys off his bench. He used Pujols and Cozarts in the game.
He's got a backup catcher, and he'll have to find somebody to play short. They may have lost their designated hitter simply because of injury. 2 down, and here's Calhoun. Past Rogers, but right to Adrianza. And a quick but potentially crippling half inning for the Angels. Leading 3-1 on Miguel Sano's 2-run home run in the top of the 8th, and just an awful bottom of the 8th. You hate seeing players get hurt. We may have seen 2 really good players get hurt in the bottom of the 8th, and they're patching things up as we speak. The Angels are, because as LaTroy mentioned, they used 2 of their 3 bench moves in the 7th inning when they tied the game. Let's start on the mound. Hansel Robles will pitch for the Angels. And he'll face Byron Buxton.
The former Met, 3.5 years in the big leagues. Pitched all with the Mets, Angels, came over last year, midway through the season. I was a rookie when I was there in 2013. He was one of the young guys when I was with the Mets that picked up the quick pitch. Taking a sign.
And Buxton shoots one in, foul down the right field line over the head of Jonathan LaTroy, who is now at first base. And Calhoun, Goodwin, Trout, they're together in the outfield. But LaCroix's now at first. Kevin Smith is catching. Listell is back at second. Fletcher's back at third. Cozart is at short. One strike. And now over the inside corner, 0-2. Buxton's 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a strikeout. Then it'll be Kepler and Polanco.
Robles' average four-seam fastball is 93 miles an hour.
Just outside, 1-2.
A little hesitation in his delivery.
Well, we saw that in Minnesota. He, because he kind of pitches from the stretch, but he doesn't have to stop if there's nobody on base. And on the outside corner at 96. One down. That'll bring up Kepler.
That's not a strike. Might be a little too close to take, but it's not a strike. It's a fastball at 96 miles an hour. It was firm. Just off the outside corner, but Gary Cetus, we saw it differently. I'd like to say hello to our minor league equipment manager at our facilities in Fort Myers, Florida, Matt Cheeseman. Texted me and said he was going to stay up and watch the game, a 3-hour time difference. Hope you're enjoying the game, Cheese.
Kepler's reached 3 times with 2 singles and a walk. And now 2-0. Robles with 5 saves for the Angels. Buttry's got a couple. Down and in, 3-0. Polanco on deck.
Polanco's hit the ball hard all night, nothing to show for it.
Strike 1 to Kepler. And now a full count. Plenty of life to that fastball, my goodness. 96, 97 miles per hour.
A good changeup to back that up. $20 innings pitch, 22 punch outs. A whip of .95.
Spun over the screen, out of play.
A good changeup I was just talking about. With a lot of depth to it, 88 miles an hour. About 9 miles off his best fastball. Nobody's thrown 264 in a third inning in his career. That's 287 strikeouts.
Toward the right side, nice catch made by Fletcher, and he throws Kepler out, 2 down. That'll bring up Polanco with the bases empty. Celebrate number 7's career throughout the season with the Mauer Bobblehead 4-pack ticket package. For the purchase of the ticket package, you'll get an exclusive 5th bobblehead. Your last chance to get your Joe Mauer Bobblehead 4-pack is Thursday. Visit twinsbaseball.com/Mauer to learn more. 2 away here in the 9th, and now Polanco. He's hit the ball hard 3 times and is 0 for 3 with a walk. Tap foul.
In case of hitting the ball too hard. Hit a jam shot over the first baseman LaTroy's head.
Earlier, Jason Castro dumped a pop fly single down the left field line. Polanco take one of those too. Look at the hesitation, and Polanco then squares and bunts.
I think that's a great counter to that. If he's going to do something like that, you just square around and act like you're going to bunt. And as a pitcher, you see that, so you're thinking about, okay, I'm going to have to hurry up and get to the line to make a play if he bunts it.
Swung on and missed 1 and 2.
Probably his best changeup he's thrown this inning. The bottom just fell out of that pitch. Great arm speed.
Parker's ready with Rogers taking care of the 7th and 8th innings. The run the Angels got charged to Harper. Pop backing out of play.
He's taking some big hacks at some fastballs tonight.
Sano's home run standing up right now in a 3-1 ball game. And another foul.
Ball went in the suite over there. And the guy had his glove. The camera guy had his glove, and he missed it, and it bounced back down.
1 and 2 to Polanco. Close pitch 2 and 2.
He had a glove, and he missed it.
And Polanco strikes out. And Robles has a 1-2-3 top of the 9th. Blake Parker will come in to try to save it for the Twins. Home run with a man aboard in the 8th inning. And so the Twins will take a 3-1 lead to the bottom of the 9th. And former Angel Blake Parker will come in and try to get the save.
16th appearance this season. 15 and 3rd innings pitch. 7 walks, 12 punch-outs.
He had a hand in the 2 Twins wins over the Angels in Minnesota. He saved one game, got a hold in the other. And he'll face LaTroy, Goodwin, and Cozart. LaTroy 0 for 3. A ground out, a pop-up, and a line out. Inside ball 1. You look at Parker's season line, and the walks look a little high, but then you have to remember his first couple outings were in the frigid, cold temperatures of Target Field. Admittedly couldn't feel a field pitch of his, the split finger pitch. Pop foul, 1-1.
Very important to be able to feel your fingers when you're trying to get major league hitters out.
And when it's 35 degrees, that's hard to do.
That's pretty tough. Parker throws his four-seamer 55% of the time. His split finger 19, just almost 20% of the time. And curve 16%. Cutter 7%. 56% ground ball percentage.
1-1 to LaTroy. slow breaking ball. That was his go-to pitch when he couldn't feel the split finger pitch, and it's 2-1.
Parker started his career as a position player. Third base, first base. Converted to pitcher in 2007.
Driven to right, and it'll carry to Kepler. A line drive for an out, one away. Time now for tonight's Coors Light refreshing finish, and it came in the 8th inning with a man aboard.
Great swing by Sano. Didn't try to pull that ball, just drove it over the right center field wall to give the Twins a 2-run lead.
One down and now Goodwin. Sano's second of the year. And a fastball outside.
Fayetteville, North Carolina.
That's to left, and that'll drop in front of Rosario. And now the Angels will get the tying run to the plate. A couple of line drives against Parker here in the 9th inning.
Correction, Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Pitch left up. Good one slapped it to left.
Couldn't let that high fastball get a little deep. He dumped it in to left field for his second base hit in his mini bats. Base hit back in the 7th inning.
Cozart entered the game as a pinch runner after Pujols walked in the 7th. Nice dig by Castro. Ball one. Missing low, and it's 2-0. Tapper to short. They'll get one. What a throw by Arias. He is safe at first. And for the first time we've seen Arias' arm. He aired that out and nearly got a double play that didn't look possible.
That's that quick release that they talk about in player development that Arias has. That turn at second base with a lot of work being put in with Ramon Borrego.
Ooh, Twins are taking a look at it, and they're going to challenge it. So we'll see whether the game has ended or not. That was, as you said, a quick release, but he gunned that ball down there with some hair on it, man. That ball was moving. Well, I'm less convinced on that angle than I was before. I don't know that it'll be overturned. But if they complete that double play, that's on the second baseman. Astudillo dug out a one-hop throw. I don't think it will be overturned. But the angle that we looked at, we really can't see when the foot hits the bag. They are looking at that, I can promise you, right now in New York.
Cozart took that long last stride that's probably the reason why he got there on time.
Sadly, the exact same type of stride that Simmons tried to take the inning before. And
he came up a little short and rolled his ankle over the top of the bag.
I don't think it'll be overturned. Parker. Safe at first. So the game continues. And it'll be left to David Fletcher. Everybody did everything they could.
Very quick turn by Luis Arias.
Yeah, that was fun to see. Fletcher 0 for 2 with a walk. And Astudillo asking for time, and I think they're just going to have him play behind the runner because, frankly, Cozart's run doesn't mean anything. So Astudillo will play off the bag.
A quick turn from Adrianza to get the ball to Arias.
Nubbed, and Parker makes a nice play to end the game. And the Twins bounce back again after a loss yesterday. This team is now 16-3 after a loss.
Great split finger from Parker, and he's falling towards first base anyway. He's able to use that momentum to snag that ground ball for a save. And out number 3.
The Twins win another close ball game against the Angels. We'll cover it all for you live on Twins Live coming up next.